Jan 29, 1967, Ephesians 2:1-10, Heidelberg Catechism question #8. Well, have you been good this week? I suppose that most of us, though hesitant to be too positive about it, will nevertheless say yes, I think so. You think so? Asterisk. Well, what is good about what you have been or done this week? Asterisk. You've been on time to work all week, and even worked through a couple of coffee breaks while others sat talking. You got to all your classes, got your papers in on time, and began reviewing for exams. 3. You did your work airlessly and even helped out another guy with his work. You spent extra time with the family. You went out of your way to call on someone you thought might be lonely. You were patient with your tired husband. You kept quiet when an opportunity for gossip occurred. You sent some money to needy groups. You saved a man's life. You taught a retarded child to tie his shoes. Well, those sound very nice, of course, but what is good about any of them? And what is good about the person who does them? Well, you say it is obvious that these are good. Certainly it isn't bad to help people, or to do one's work well, and even to do more than he is expected. Asterisk. Everybody knows that these are good. Asterisk. You can just feel it. I'm sorry to disagree, but that doesn't satisfy me. In a world full of distortions, how are we to know that the way we look at such things is right or distorted? One way to answer the question of what is good is to go by the opinions of as many people as possible. One can gain a consensus. Popular opinion will be the determinant. This will work to accomplish an orderly society and give you something to go on. Asterisk. But asterisk, if you push it a little, it falls apart too. If all those people are distorted perchance, their consensus will also be distorted. Another way to answer the question of what is good is to go by your feelings. That which you feel makes people happy and which feels right inside you. That is good. When we recall, however, that our feelings change often, and that other people seem to feel differently, it is hard to have confidence in our feelings as a guide to goodness. A third way to answer the question is to ask the most intelligent thinkers. And one very brilliant philosopher came up with this answer about what is a good act: act only in such a way that you could ask all men to act. That sounds helpful and practical, but still we are left wondering why in the final analysis that would be good. It is very reasonable, but it still doesn't satisfy. It doesn't help me become a good person, though I act ever so consistently with that formula. There is still a feeling that we haven't read the final word, that we are distorted people with distorted answers. There is one other alternative. It is that we are not left to our own distortions of feeling, intellect, or opinion, but that we have the word from outside man. We are not destined to just setting up a scale arbitrarily and saying these things will be most good and these least because that is how it appears to us. We have the alternative to accept the criterion of goodness that comes, as it claims, from God. When it comes to being good, the Bible is clear. Again and again we hear expressions like this: "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his loving kindness endureth forever." In other words, as the Gospels have it, one there is who is good God. Actions like God's, and good actions are those that are consistent with God's will, actions that in reality come from God. What doth the Lord require of thee? To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before the Lord. Here is a good thing, doing what God requires. Any other standard falls short, for he alone is good. But then we must consider what possibility there is for doing God's will. On the surface it would seem a simple matter of first finding out what the good is and then proceeding to do it. That is what we do when we determine the good by any of the other standards. We find out about it and then do it. So it would seem to be the same here too. Find out the good and then do it. But as we have seen previously, the Bible also tells us that it is not that simple. For while our own consensus and feelings and experts may say man is remarkably capable of many, many things, an extraordinary creature, the word from man's maker says, the heart is deceitful above all things, and it is exceedingly corrupt. Who can know it? 17:9, and the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. 6:5, or as today's verses said, dead through your trespasses and sins, by nature children of wrath. The kind of description changes our outlook about doing good, much more about being good. The word dead leaves no doubt. There is nothing as lifeless as something dead. There is no lesser potential than that in a dead creature. A stone, a stick, a bone can do as much as a dead man. And that is how man is described in regard to his potential for good, real good that is worthy of God. Nothing he isn't in the race. A newborn baby has more potential for winning the heavyweight boxing championship than has man for performing a truly good act. It is essential that we see this clearly and without reservation, that all we see done and do that is nice and good according to our human definitions of it cannot score with God. It cannot compare with true goodness. It has no real merit in it, however helpful and fine it may seem in a distorted world. And the sinner, mankind, returns to this realization, this gloomy, pessimistic understanding of himself. The sinner is dismal, hopeless attempts to do a little good will be shown for what they are, and he may be ready for grace. When man can shed finally that last little corner of G-godness he once declaimed for himself, that last shred of ability he insists he is for getting back to God, even that very faint pulse of life he claims remains within him to do by his strength what is necessary to return to God, he will be ready for the resounding theme of the Bible people. A nation, cripples, whores, blind, insane, deceitful, unfaithful, dead, traitorous, murderers, barren, restored, brought back, made well, loved, used, honored, privileged, forgiven, changed through no merit of their own. This recurring theme of the OT and fulfilled in Christ is the theme of the dead, erased. Dry bones. But first you must read over yourself the coroner's report, dead on arrival. Then the radical new possibilities arise. The reality of resurrection only presents itself to the dead. New life is for those who understand they have lost their life. We also all once lived in the lusts of our flesh, doing the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, but God, being rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead through our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. Then finally we can get back to the question of doing good. We, says Paul, are created for good works. The impossibility of doing anything good is changed to what sounds like an exclusive function, from nothing to all, rags to riches type thing. By we he means those who identify themselves with Jesus X. They are able to do good works. Something happens to some that makes them able to do good things. After that something happens, W, that they do is different. It is good. What happened? What is good about it? That wasn't there before.